Hi, I'm Dee Zhao with the Peace Ever Television Network, and I'm very honored to be here with Miss Nana Fosu-Randall today to talk about her organization, Voices of African Mothers. Thank you for coming, Nana.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're here today with Miss Nana Fosu-Randall. She's the founder of Voices of African Mothers, which is a nonprofit organization that's been empowering women and children in Africa ever since 2004. Ms. Fosu-Randall, thank you so much for coming. We just wanted to ask you a few questions about how you got started. You yourself grew up in Africa in a city called Kumasi in Ghana.
Yes.
What was it like growing up there?
Oh, it's beautiful. Everything is green. Everything is green. It's very, very beautiful. Oranges, pineapple, everything.
Wow.
It's so free.
Pineapples in Africa.
Oh, yes. Fruit, different type of fruits in Africa. Food is green, everything. And so when I was growing up, everything was good.
And when did you come to the United States?
Oh, I came to the United States after I have studied in Britain for 3 years as a child, as a teenager. Then I came here in 1963.
1963?
Yeah, I came to go to school.
To go to school?
Yeah, high school and then university and graduate school.
And you were always good at math, or what made you decide to get degrees in accounting and finance?
Yes, as you said, I was always good in high school.
Wow.
And, even in primary school, I was very, very good. But I was not good in biology and those science courses. But accounting, math, I was very good.
Very logical mind.
Yes.
And how did you get started with the UN? When did you start working for the UN?
I started working for UN in 1974, after I have finished my master's degree in this country. Then I started working. At that time, my uncle was the Ghana ambassador to United Nations.
Wow.
And then I told him I want to work at the UN. So I started the process, going through everything, taking tests, going for interview and everything. And I was looking, yeah. So after I finished graduate school, then I told my uncle, who was then the Ghana ambassador for United Nations, and I said that I want to work for United Nations. And I started the process. I went through the taking tests and then going for interview and all those things that you need to do before you are hired.
It's a really intensive selection process.
Exactly, because everybody wants to work at the UN.
Absolutely. What a great organization.
Yes.
And you were a senior executive for many years. What did you do before you became the chief financial officer?
The chief finance officer when I'm in the mission. When I'm in the mission, when I say mission, when I'm outside headquarters, then, like during the war of Gulf, the Gulf War.
The Gulf War.
The first Gulf War.
Yeah.
I was a chief finance officer for the mission, UN mission there.
Oh, okay.
You see. So when I go outside, at the UN, the headquarters, I'm not the chief finance officer. I'm an officer, but I'm not the chief.
The chief
finance officer is the controller of the UN.
Wow. Okay. And then when did you found the organization Voices of African Mothers?
Well, when I was sent to Liberia, Liberia was a very, very hot place, during Charles Taylor, the war, they have it there for so many years. But you see, I have been to so many places representing UN, but when I went to Liberia, it was different. It was so close to home. So the things I saw there after war, the impact of war, really blew my mind. you see people with so handicapped, no legs, no one ear is gone, one face, half of the face is all destroyed. So when I saw all those things in Liberia, I became numb. And I said, how can people do such a things to each other? And it was about this little girl that I met in Liberia that really, really forced me to start this Voices of African Mothers. Because this is a girl who doesn't have limbs, no hands, no leg. But the girl was sitting in a chair, a wheelchair, and feeding a child.
Without any hands.
Without any hands, except, these artificial things that helping the girl. And I said to myself, why? What happened? So I asked my driver, and I said, how can this girl so disabled and yet she had a baby? And the girl told us that during the war, at that time, during the war, the military came to their house. They drove everybody in the house into bush. And the question is, either you are going to fight with them or you lose your life. So they killed most of the people that from that household. The mother was dead, the father was dead. In fact, they shoot the girl, but the girl pretended to be dead. They raped her also before shooting her. So after they left, the girl stayed in the bush for about 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks before the girl tried to crawl to the roadside. And during that time, somebody found her, and they took her to the city, to the hospital. At that time, all the limbs were infected, so they couldn't save any of those, the limbs, the legs, or the hands, so they amputated them. At that time, because the girl was raped, the girl became pregnant. And this girl was just about 13 years old.
13.
13 years old. So when they found out that the girl was pregnant, the girl doesn't have anybody. The girl decided she was going to have the baby, doesn't believe about the baby. Because at the time they found out too, it was too late. Mm-hmm. So she had the baby. Now the girl doesn't have a mother, father, no relatives. So what is the girl supposed to do? What's the girl supposed to do? So the girl ends up in a home where they gave her a place to stay, sleep, and the baby. And then in the morning, we'll get up and hit on the road with the baby on the laps, and they're wheeling herself to go on the street to beg for money to feed herself and her child. As a woman, I think about, as a woman, how can you take care of your own self without hands, without feet? Plus now this girl has a child. That day, I cried the whole day. And that is when I made up my mind that I'm going to do something about this. Those people, they don't have a voice. When they cry, the world don't hear them. And their tears are beyond their pains, or their pains are beyond their tears. That day is the day I decided that I'm going to do something. I will speak for those. They cry and nobody hear them. I will tell their story. So I came back to Ghana and I got some of my friends together and I told them, because I was on holiday from Liberia, I went for 2 weeks holiday before I came back to USA. And New York is my duty station. Is a cap. So I started telling my friends, I said, I want to start this thing. I'm a mother. I saw so many children in Liberia. I've seen them when I went to Lebanon, when I went to Kuwait, when, I was in Israel. I see so many children, so many women. In Sudan, a woman will get up in the morning with the children and say, okay, I'm going to look for water because of this long walk. Going to look for water for the children. And the woman will go out and will not come back. Then we'll leave children. What do you tell these children? And yet nobody hear their cries. That is really the focus of why I started Voices of African Mothers. And we are operating with the 8 Millennium Goals. Education, empowerment of women, poverty, health, and so on and so on.
And have people been stepping in?
Yes, well, we have support. We have support, but nowadays it's very difficult to get funding, especially when the organization is based in Africa, because they think that all African people are corrupt and also, they collect money and they say they are using it for this and they don't use it. But my organization, we challenge people who are kind enough to donate money to us to go and see what Voices of African Mothers we have done in our headquarters in Ghana. I have school with 700 kids. And that 700 kids, 25% do not pay. They don't pay a penny to go to the school. We have microfinance, even though the money is not big enough. It's like I started with $25 for a person, and it went to 50, and now into 100. But that money is helping women to feed their children.
Wow.
Because they start using it, selling oranges, selling vegetables, or whatever they can sell. And they are able, at the end of the day, they are able to feed their children. So when they pay the money back, we give it to somebody else. So we rotate. We started with 10 women. So right now, it's 2 years ago we started microfinance. And right now, we have about 54 women using our microfinance.
Wow.
And we do not have money. So we do not just go and give money to people and say this. We give the money to you to make sure that you will give back so that we can give it to somebody else. So that goes on and on and on. That is where we are now. So we will be able to have children go to school. We have so many children that they are smart, but yet, because of a common, maybe $10 to buy uniform and all those kind of things, so they are not able to go to school. In our projects, the projects we do, we send children to school. Even right now, we are building girls' school, and we are now at the roof stage. We are doing the roof, so we hope that by September we will be able to start the second school.
Wow, that's just a few months from now.
Yes.
Wonderful.
That is why we are doing this gala at the United Nations on the 17th. For some of the proceeds, if we are able to pay for all the expenses, whatever would be left over, we will use some for this girls' school, and then we will use some for the eradication of Ebola.
That's a big concern right now.
Yes, that is big. Even we do not have it in Ghana, but I'm an African.
Yes.
I'm African first before Ghana.
Yes.
A Ghanaian. So whatever happened, even I would say whatever happened to the world is my concern. But whatever happened to Africa is more my concern than anywhere. So if it's going on in Liberia, if it's going on in Sierra Leone, if it's going on in Guinea, I'm still African.
You're still African.
And I'm going to do whatever I can do to save my people.
Very inspirational.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to make it clear to our listeners that Voices of African Mothers isn't just for women and children. We have a lot of men helping, doing a lot of excellent work, both nationally and internationally.
Yes, yes.
A lot of our listeners might feel distanced from the suffering because they might want to help, but they don't exactly know how to step in. What are some ways that our audience can get involved and help like you have been?
We have a website, www.vamothers.org.
That's www.vamothers.org. That's Nana's website.
Yes. And then we are also our office is at 777 United Nations Plaza.
777 UN Plaza.
Suite 6G.
6G.
And New York, New York. The zip code is 10017.
10017 is the zip code. If you would like to send any letters or contributions to Nana's cause.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nana. Thank you for speaking with us today. We're very honored to have Miss Nana Fosu-Randall with us.